This time last year, we got our very first developer direct, and to be honest with you all, I greatly enjoyed it. Allowing actual developers the time to show off their upcoming games and the passion they had for them was just a ton of fun. Most other gaming conferences throughout the year just felt like a total campaign ad. In fact, the only other gaming conference last year that I felt was more real was ExileCon. I mean, Path of Exile 2 had a presentation with raw, live, and unscripted gameplay. In fact, one of the developers even died during a boss fight on stage in front of thousands, if not millions, of people. So once again, we're going to see 4 games at this direct: Ara, History of the World, Indiana Jones, Avowed, and Hellblade II. I wanted to go through each of these games one by one and just give my overall thoughts and what I hope to see from each of these studios. Starting with Indiana Jones. So, we can expect to see roughly 10 minutes of gameplay and developer insight. And to be honest with you all, seeing gameplay for this title is what I most am looking forward to. I hope the game is third person and not only has a focus on gunplay, but also a ton of melee combat. While the movies had plenty of firefights, Indiana had a lot of fistfights as well.
Please. Boss.
Plus, his whip was not only used as a weapon, which would be great to see in melee combat in third person, it was also a means to get around the environment, which could lead to some pretty interesting environmental traversing, as well as cool puzzles in the game. I'm unsure how all of that could work in a first person game. I'm not saying it can't, I just think it would be a lot harder to pull off. Now, while I know there's been some talk that the game's already been announced to be both third person and first person, however, that announcement was from an insider during an Xbox Era podcast.
There's been a lot of talk about, is Indy going to be third person? Is Indy going to be first person? Oh, it's got to be first. It's got to be third person. Indy, like Uncharted, blah, blah, blah. I may have got a little bit of info about that.
It's second person.
About the camera angle of Indiana Jones.
Interesting.
Now, I don't know if this is finalized or not. I don't know if this is like, because the game I think is still quite a bit away. From what I've been told, from what I've heard, just a rumor, from what I've heard, it's going to be both.
Yeah, according to Special Nick, the game will have both first person and third person elements. However, he even says that he's not even sure if the information he heard was finalized or not, and was subject to change. Outside of this, I cannot actually find any official source confirming the camera angle. So I guess we're just gonna find out next week. Strangely enough, this should be one game I am the most excited for on this list. But at the moment, I'm not there quite yet, simply due to the developers, Machine Gun Games. Their last couple of games really put me off. Wolfenstein 2, the new Colossus, was just not for me. I didn't like the story, I didn't like the characters, nor did I like the level design. Everything about the game was just simply not good, and a tremendous step down from the New Order. Though I will admit, according to Steam reviews, there's a ton of people that did enjoy the game. Now, while the new Colossus may be a hit or miss for a lot of people, I think a vast majority of us could at least agree that Wolfenstein Youngblood was just flat out bad.
You okay? I think I'm fine. Oh my god. Oh my god, I got his brains in my mouth. Water, give me water.
Which is a real shame because I thought the New Order was incredible, and even better than that was the Old Blood. So hopefully Indiana Jones resembles the quality of the first 2 games and not the second 2. I suppose you could say that Disney could step in and actually put a stop to it. However, we all saw last year what they consider to be quality when it comes to Indiana So hopefully whatever Machine Gun Games show gives me excited and hyped. However, until I actually see what they've been cooking, I'm not going to hold my breath. If what they do show is incredible and blows me away, this game could easily become one of my most anticipated games of this year. Next up on the list is Avowed, and I'm gonna be honest, the game looks incredible. I know when it was first shown off, it had a much different graphical style than what was later shown, but to be honest, I don't mind the new art style they've put out. Overall, I think it kind of gives the game a unique charm that's becoming more and more rare these days, especially in the AAA space. It honestly looks like a world I could get sucked into and invested in. And it's not just the art style that has me intrigued. It's the fact that the game's been said to be smaller in scope and more story-centric compared to most other bloated open world RPGs. The older I get, the less and less I appreciate giant open world games. However, do not get me wrong, I love having side quests and having those extra little snippets of lore hidden throughout the land. But let's be real, not every game needs to be 1,000 planets and have a vast landscape of pure nothingness. Plus, Obsidian is a developer that has so far never disappointed me. They've released banger after banger. Their trail of greatness in the RPG genre basically speaks for itself. Out of the 4 games being shown, this is the one at the moment that I'm the most hyped for. I've really enjoyed what has already been said about the title, and I look forward to hearing more. Plus, let's be real, Obsidian is basically an S-tier developer. However, let's move on to Hellblade II. And this is going to be one that I see is going to push the graphic fidelity on the next-gen consoles. So far, the trailers have looked absolutely amazing. This is definitely going to be one that gets snapshot all over Twitter and is actually used in the console wars. Though I don't think it's just graphics the game's gonna have going for it. If it's anything like the original, and so far from the trailers, it definitely seems it's heading in this direction, we could expect to see some very high quality audio from this game.
Listen. It's coming. He's here. That's my name. He can smell your fear. Cecily.
If Hellblade 2 is able to step up to the plate and overcome some of the shortcomings of the first game, we're gonna have something truly magical on our hands. While I did enjoy my time with Hellblade 1, at the end of the day, it was simply a one and done type of title. There's really not much to the gameplay loop at all. In fact, the gameplay in general was what was lackluster about the first game. I'm not expecting Hellblade to suddenly turn into a God of War or Ninja Gaiden style game, but it would be nice if it actually had a bit more to the combat this time around, actually giving me a reason to go back and enjoy it. Lastly, we have History Untold. This is going to be a turn-based strategy game from the developers of Civilization 5. If you're a fan of these type of games, this may be one that could be of interest to you. However, I'm just gonna be honest with you guys. I really have zero interest in this title. Not because I think it looks bad, but simply due to the fact that this entire genre does not appeal to me. I prefer my strategy games to be much quicker paced, like we see in StarCraft or Warcraft. And let's be real, even though they're all RTS games, the ones I like is basically an entire different genre. However, who knows? Maybe this one and what they show at the Direct is going to be finally the title that changes my mind and gets me to try one of these games out. Now, before I wrap the video up, I want to bring up the fact that last year, not only did they cover 4 games, we also had a secret 5th game and a stealth drop, which ended up being Hi-Fi Rush. And that ended up being one of my favorite games, if not my favorite, Xbox exclusive last year.
Rockstar.
Future Rockstar.
Are you done?
It would be really nice if we got another stealth drop with this Direct. However, I'm not really sure if we're going to get that. After all, if they do it 2 years in a row, they're going to set the standard that every year we're going to expect some sort of surprise stealth drop. Besides, to be completely real, I kind of feel bad for whatever game does get dropped if there is one, because it's instantly just going to be compared to Hi-Fi Rush, and that one was incredible. So if there is a game that stealth dropped, it kind of has some big shoes to fill. But I would love to hear what you all think. Are you guys excited to see the developer direct return? Which games are you most excited for? Also, if there is a shadow drop like we had with Hi-Fi Rush, what do you hope it is? Let me know your overall thoughts in the comments down below. And if you made it this far and did enjoy the video, let me know by dropping a like. And if you are new, please consider subscribing. As for me, I got a ton of work to do, so I'm gonna get back to the grind, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.